before the Lord, but the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. When Elijah heard it, he put his cloak over his face and went out and stood at the mouth of the cave. Then a voice said to him, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" He replied, "I have been very zealous for the Lord God Almighty. The Israelites have rejected your covenant, torn down your altars, and put your prophets to death with the sword. I am the only one left, and now they are trying to kill me too." The Lord said to him, "Go back the way you came, and go to the desert of Damascus. When you get there, anoint King Hazael king over Aram. Also anoint Jehu, son of Nimshi, king of Israel, and anoint Elisha, son of Shaphat, from Abel and Meholah, to succeed you as prophet. Jehu will put to death any of you who escape the sword of Israel, and Elisha will be put to death, any who escape the sword of Jehu. Yet I serve 7,000 in Israel, all whose knees have not bowed down to Baal, and whose mouths have not kissed him." May the Lord add the blessings to the reading of the Scriptures.
Disturbed. Not normally a group I listen to, but I love the darkness of that passage. It doesn't make it light and lilty, that we have to understand what comes in the darkness at times. Our sermon today is the second in our series of Attitude of Gratitude. It always helps me, but I did take it off of you today. And it's called A Voice in the Silence, and this revolves around Elijah. Elijah was a very flamboyant, in a way, prophet. He made a big show of things. And what we pick up in 19, 1 Kings 19, is after he had done one of his most masterful exhibitions. I'll give you a background, because some of you might not know about Elijah. There was a king named Ahab. He was named Jezebel. We've all heard of Jezebels. This was the original Jezebel. Jezebel and Ahab worshipped Baal. And Baal was a god idol. He was made of a golden calf usually, and they worshipped him. Well, Elijah was having problems getting people to believe in God. So he went to Ahab and said, send 450 of your best prophets to Mount Carmel. Okay, thank you, Ed. As my fact checker here. We just read this too. And Mount Carmel. And what we'll do at Mount Carmel, we're going to have basically a contest. 450 of you will build an altar. You'll cut up an ox. But I want to see you set it on fire. So 450 of them did just this. Got the ox. They chanted and prayed, and they cut themselves to get their fire built up. And in the meantime, Elijah's over there going, well, did your God go out to lunch today? Is your God too busy to show up? Did he forget about you? Maybe he had another business meeting. Then Elijah goes over to his thing, and he asks for 4 buckets of water to be poured around the trench of his altar, where his oxen was. He asked for that 3 times. And then he says a prayer to God, and suddenly, poof, fire. And then he tells the people that had surrounded him, take the 450 prophets, false prophets, and slaughter them. In the meantime, we have to remember, for 3 years, Israel had no rain. So Elijah then goes out and says, do you see any rain coming to somebody? And they check. And they check 7 times. And then Sunday said, there's a rain cloud building over the sea, coming toward us. And then it rained profusely. Now, at this point, Elijah's on a high. Elijah has it made. But then he gets a little note sent to him from Jezebel. I'm going to have your head. I'm going to kill you. So in 19, this is where we pick up. He runs and he sits under a tree in depression. He just had one of the highest moments of his life. Have you ever had those things where everything just goes right? And you are elated. You can't imagine anything getting much better. You're proud of yourself. And then suddenly something comes and cuts you at the knees. And you're down. Elijah was basically depressed. He sat over there mooning. And then we get to verse 11. He's told to go out and go to the mountains. He's tired and he's running away and he goes to these mountains. He wants to see God. He wants to see God now. So we find out that God, there's an earthquake, God doesn't come there. There's wind, God's not there. There's fire, and God's not there. Have you ever had that where God's not there? You pray and you feel like God's not there. God appears. In the silence, God appeared. I've told you before, my go-to verse often is be still and know that I am God. Because I can scatter and be almost schizophrenic when I get going. And then I have to remember, be still and know that I am God. And then I break that down into a mantra. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know. Be still, be. That just seems to center me in. But it's in the silence that we can hear God. It's in the silence we need to hear God. We get so scattered and running. And we already have Christmas decorations out. Have you noticed that? There's already Christmas decorations out. There's already Christmas sales. Michael's having a 60% sale off of trees. I got excited and I realized I don't need a tree. But I like a good sale. But there's already Christmas decorations out. It's like we forgot about Thanksgiving. We go Halloween, Christmas. Thanksgiving's getting to be that lost holiday. We get excited and we get frenzied. How many of you have already started Christmas shopping? I knew there would be one of you out there that had. There's always that one. How many of you have you finished?
Almost. Thanks to Amazon.
Amazon's my friend too. But there's some people that have already got their Christmas shopping done by July sometimes, and I'm like, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do tomorrow, much less Christmas at this point. But we get so frenzied in our activities, we forget to just sit and be still. We need God's touch in our lives. We need His happening in our lives. We need to meet God in that sheer silence, in just a whisper. In a whisper to hear His voice. In a whisper to know who He is. A whisper. When I was a little girl, I was 8 and 9, I went to a Southern Baptist, independent Southern Baptist, where the pastor would yell and scream and stomp, and he had his he had his handkerchief to wipe off the sweat on his brow, and he would have it in his hand, and if he saw something going wrong out there, he would say, and you will be, and I was scared to death of him. He was Dr. James Dobson, not the Dr. Dobson, but he was Dr. Dobson in our town, and I was so frightened of this man because he yelled and he screamed. And I thought God was an angry God that only would yell and scream at me. And then, as I got older, I found out that the God that loved me was a God of silence, a God of stillness. He would whisper to me and whisper, I love you, and you're protected. The song that I played by Lauren Daigle, You Say, is a lot of what we think at times. We don't think we're good enough. We don't think we can do this. And in that song she says, He has us. He has us. No matter how faulted we are, no matter how messed up we are, no matter where we are, He has us. Elijah's thank you note to God is as he got to the end of his life, he did everything he wanted to do. And he left his legacy to Elijah. And if you remember, when we hear about the transfiguration, who was on the mountain with Jesus? Elijah and Moses. His thank you gift to God was he heard God. He listened to God. And he did as he was called to do. Being not the only prophet in a nation isn't easy. But he did what he was supposed to do. How many of us know what we were supposed to do, but we don't do it? Either we run from it, we ignore it, or we do just the opposite. I was an Aubrey teenager, I was in foster care, And I think if somebody told me to do something, I would really tempted to do the opposite. Don't see that boy. Well, guess where I was? I was seeing that boy. But I was always afraid to break the law, though, because I'm chicken. But it was like if somebody said, don't touch that, I touched it. We're like that in our lives with God. God's saying, don't touch this. Don't go there. And we kind of like stepping over that line. It's kind of fun over here. And it's kind of dull over here. But it's not. If you live with God and you listen to his voice, God is love and God is hope. And we can make it fun. We can make it exciting. I never thought bingo would be fun. And it was fun last night. It was fun when you heard somebody say bingo and they went up and got their gift. I do admit everyone walked away with a gift, though, by the end of the night. That is love. Now, the question I have for you is, what is your thank you note to God? In the silence of your life, what thank you note do you have to share with him? Every week this question is going to arise. What is your thank you note to God? Is it that you're here today? Is it that you're well? Is it that you know somebody who lived a long and loving life and loved you deeply? What is your thank you note to God today? My thank you note to God is that I am in his presence amongst you all. And God is loving you, and I get the honor of being here to help love on you. May God bless us each and every one. In Christ's name we say, amen.
Amen.
To go along with our theme of thankfulness, the song we'll sing for our invitation hymn is Give Thanks. It's number 528. If there's anyone here that does not know Christ and would like to meet him for the first time, I invite you forward. If you'd like to place your membership or enter into the waters of baptism, I invite you forward. If you just need a small prayer with me, come forward to sing. Give thanks, number 528, and we'll sing through it twice.